Hey guys, this is Blue Flare 2004, and I don't know where to start right now, but let's just say, let's just say the, as far as the video game industry is concerned, I usually enjoy video games a lot, and, well, lately I've been hearing, I hate, unfortunately, this video may involve some bad news, unfortunately, but lately I found out that I'm just gonna cut to the chase and say that you ever wonder what's the point of finding of trying to find something positive when you try to be positive but nothing goes right. But well, unfortunately, I just found out that, well, Microsoft, for starters, Microsoft's Xbox company is having a new owner, having a new CEO, who, by the way, has no experience with video games but only has experience of AI, which means the whole Xbox praise is gonna plummet it once again to the point where console gaming is doomed. And who knows what's gonna happen to Sony's PlayStation consoles next, because everything is becoming so expensive. And you know what makes gaming so expensive now? The new stuff is the part about stuff like supply drops on Call of Duty, like COD points and stuff like that. It's all about the loot crate stuff and within games and online subscriptions and stuff. That's like gambling. Like you see, I usually enjoy video games just to live life, and I usually enjoy video games just to relieve stress and relax and also get satisfaction out of accomplishing something. But now they just had to flat out ruin it by turning it into a casino. You know, it just sucks that everything that makes me happy, they just had to take it and just ruin it for me to the point where I can't even enjoy it anymore. And you know, the two most important people even once told me something, that gambling is a bad thing. Why did they insist on doing something like that on video games? Even one country, I forgot which one, but they outlawed that towards kids. It's bad. And you have to ram up the debit card to the point where you end up in debt. It's bad. And we're all victims of it, all thanks to big tech ruining video games. Well, I don't know if it's big tech, but companies today are not really are taking away the impact that the games once had, you know, by introducing this new gambling system. Even in 1930, there was a certain experiment in 1930 where they did this on animals, where the animal keeps pressing button or keeps sticking a beak in the food slot until the food eventually comes out. That's how they trick animals into gambling until the food comes out. It's like, do they really want to make us turn us into gambling addicts by playing video games? It's not good. Like, here's some suggestions on, if any of these companies are watching this, here's my idea on how they can improve the video game industry, so listen carefully. Do what Nintendo's doing. Aside from the strict policies Nintendo has, try to, instead of doing transactions within games and subscriptions and stuff, why can't you do the same thing what Nintendo is doing by not relying on subscriptions, just so people can play games freely without relying on subscriptions just to play online gaming? Like, that is totally unnecessary. Like, And for starters, they could have at least, like basically, instead of introducing gambling in games, they could have done the same thing what Nintendo does by using DLC. Like, follow what Nintendo is doing. Nintendo's the reason video games are still around. I mean, sure, I grew up with PlayStation too, but Nintendo will always be a champion in video games. Even their Nintendo Switch 2, sure, it's got problems, but which I heard there's been a lot of clickbait about Nintendo's Switch and Nintendo consistently suing companies over stupid stuff, and Nintendo's really got to solve that issue where whenever people buy used games, it risks getting them banned from Nintendo's online services. Well, they really got to fix that, but still, why can't they follow what Nintendo is doing? Even if they don't have to they don't necessarily have to make their hardware like weak as Nintendo's. They could have at least like not introduced gambling in games like Nintendo doesn't. Like, why can't they do that, Just be plain and simple, but with powerful hardware. Like next thing I know, if you don't do that, you're definitely gonna lose to Nintendo and PC gaming and Steam. Even Steam's announcing the new Steam machine, which I'm personally looking forward to, so I can play the VR games. But I'm a fan of every video game console in the new generation, including. Look, I'm a fan of the Xbox because of Call of Duty and Halo. I know I haven't played Halo much, but I'm still a fan of it because I like futuristic shooter games like Halo and the futuristic Call of Duties. But please don't hate. But for everyone watching this, please don't hate me for that and typing rude comments over it, please. And also, I'm a fan of PlayStation because of Jak and Daxter and Gran Turismo. Also, I'm still a fan of Microsoft's Xbox because of the racing games like Forza. And also, I'm a fan of Nintendo's hardware because of Pokemon. Pokemon is also my favorite Nintendo title of all time. I grew up with Pokemon ever since I was a little boy. My first Pokemon games was Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon Silver on the Game Boy Color. I grew up with those games ever since I was a little boy, and they didn't have any gambling or online or DLC stuff. I didn't even have a gamer tag back then, nor Facebook or anything like that. Just to confess that I didn't have a chance to have my taste of online interactions like that. I never got to experience that until after my parents got divorced. By that time, I eventually got a Facebook, and I eventually got my taste of online gaming when I started playing Call of Duty Black Ops 2. You know what I mean? I hope you guys know what I mean by that, but even though now these days I do play Call of Duty Black Ops 2 on Xbox 360, but at the same time I play it on my Xbox Series X, but that's besides the point. Why can't the video game industry be simple instead of a gambling casino? Look, we enjoy video games to use that as an answer to ignore all the negativity around us. But instead, they have to make it worse. Just all you companies, if you're watching this, just do that, and I promise you, you'll make a difference just like Nintendo and Steam and the PC gaming market. Just do those suggestions, and I promise you, I'm sure you'll make a good difference, a good impact, I'm sure you'll make a good game if you try following the same strategy what Nintendo's doing, aside from the strict policies within games. But so simple as this. Remove the gambling, be a little more laid back, and keep the games simple. You can include some DLC, that's fine. DLC will definitely be something worth looking forward to in the future once the game is released, but just cut us some slack. The game should be awarding us for skill and effort. That's the reward, not the money spending. You know? Games should be feeling rewarding. Not pay to win. It shouldn't be like pay to win. Even apps today are like that. It shouldn't be pay to win. Even my app, Azure Lane, I mean, sure, you spend money on skins, but it's not necessary to gameplay. But at least the app is more reasonable than... Why can't they be more like Azure Lane? You know? Azure Lane may have money spending involved, but but it's not necessary to gameplay, other than... And it's a reasonable app to play. I mean, sure, its ratings have gone up. Its age ratings have gone up, has progressed from due to the content changing, but still. Like, why can't they, follow what the developers of Azure Lane are doing, or follow what Nintendo is doing? You know? This generation I just don't like the way things are in this generation. It really shatters me when everything I'm passionate about just gets taken away from me like that, or gets taken or someone just takes it and just ruins it for me like that by doing these stupid ideas or ideologies within stuff I enjoy to make these things think, oh, it's worth it, and turn us all into gambling addicts at such a young age. Or turn us all into addicts at such a young age. Even two important people once told me something. Gambling is a bad thing. It actually makes us unhappy than happy. And even if we do get what we want after spending the money, it actually doesn't make us happy. It doesn't feel rewarding. It actually makes us unhappy. And unsatisfied. I know it's harsh. I know I may seem like I'm being an asshole or whatever, but unfortunately that's the truth. I'm afraid I'm speaking the truth now. I'm tired of staying silent. Even though I'm quite a chatterbox, I'm tired of sitting home every day, keeping my mouth shut too long while everything's in jeopardy. While the gaming industry is in jeopardy. And it's up to me, Blue Flare, to review both old and new stuff to see if it's actually worth it. Just to show the value of the game, and I could even explain what improvements could have been done to make the game better. You know? Yeah. Even the Angry Video Game Nerd was my inspiration, you know? But right now, I just don't know what else to do right now otherwise. It just ruins my passion for video games. I enjoy it as a hobby. And I was even going to make a career out of repairing retro stuff, but I don't know. So that's what's going on in the video game industry, and I'm sorry you have to see that painful message coming from me. But hopefully you guys get the idea of what's going on in the video game industry, and I just hope we can pray that despite everything going on and all the bad decisions these companies are making, that maybe something will turn around and maybe hopefully something like, even if it may not be Grand Theft Auto 6, but maybe a new game would probably step up and, and restore console gaming. And probably make a few changes such as affordable gaming and and also ways to make gaming better. To make it affordable without any unnecessary subscriptions. Just to play the game and, keep it simple, So if you're watching this, Microsoft, Sony, and all the companies who are publishing games with these game mechanics, try to follow what Nintendo and the developers of Azure Lane are doing. But don't mimic their strict policies. Try to be more laid back than Nintendo, but follow their strategies at the same time to get better games and, But make sure there's online and DLC too, to make sure that's included. Just without any of this unnecessary subscription and gambling bullshit, Excuse my language, but I think that all that will make a good game, and that would probably be worth owning a console then. So, I don't know if that would be considered clickbait, or honestly, I don't know if that could be the case. Well, I don't know. I just hope a miracle happens somehow. I'm sorry you guys have to see me like this, but so anyway, subscribe for more videos like this, and be sure to check out my other videos I'll appreciate if you check out my other videos and hit the notification bell and share the videos in my channel with everyone you know. This is Blue Flare 2004 signing off. And if you already subscribed to me, thank you for subscribing.